Burner. Burner.
Burner.
A gas burner.
The government quietly put the scheme on the back burner.
Burning.
Burning.
She was rescued from a burning building.
Claudia put her hands to her burning face.
My burning ambition is to be world champion. Education has become a burning issue in this election.
Burnish.
Burnish.
He missed no opportunity to burnish his image.
Burnout.
Burnout.
Many of the teachers are suffering from burnout.
Burnt.
Burnt.
Burnt toast.
Burp.
Burp.
Burka.
Burka.
Burkini. Burkini.
Burr.
Burr.
The burr of a motor.
Burrito.
Burrito.
Burrow.
Burrow. Burrow.
Burrow.
Mother turtles burrow into the sand to lay their eggs.
The child stirred and burrowed deeper into the bed.
She burrowed her head into his shoulder.
Helen burrowed in her bag for a handkerchief.
Bursa.
Bursar.
Bursary.
Bursary.
Burst.
Burst.
The pipes had burst, and the house was under 2 feet of water.
John was bursting with ideas and good humour.
Your mum's bursting with pride for you.
Joe burst into the room. The door burst open and Tom ran into the room.
Zach was bursting to tell them something. Steve was so happy, I couldn't bear to burst his bubble. I'm sorry to burst in on you like this. I'm sorry to burst in on you like this.
Claire looked as if she were about to burst into tears.
Suddenly the group burst into laughter.
Lydia burst into song.
Their car crashed and burst into flames.
The band burst onto the music scene in 1997.
Everyone burst out laughing.
I don't believe it, she burst out angrily.
A burst in the water pipe.
The van gave a sudden burst of speed.
Sharp bursts of machine gun fire.
Burthen.
Burthen.
Burton.
Burton.
Bury. Bury.
He was buried in the churchyard of St. Mary's.
Electric cables are buried beneath the streets.
The skiers were buried under the snow.
57 miners were buried alive. 57 miners were buried alive.
His glasses were buried under a pile of papers.
A deeply buried memory.
Noel buried his face in the pillow.
The dog buried its teeth in my leg.
The bullet buried itself in the wall.
After the divorce, she buried herself in her work.
The story was buried at the back of the paper. She had buried her husband, 2 sons and a daughter.
Bus.
Bus.
There were a lot of people on the bus.
The best way to get there is by bus.
I took a bus to San Francisco. Buses run at 15 and 30 minutes past the hour.
Casey was bused to the school.
Shelley had a job bussing tables.
Busboy.
Busboy.
Busby. Busby.
Bush.
Bush.
A rose bush.
The child was hiding in the bushes.
Bushed.
Bushed.
Bushel.
Bushel.
Bush League.
Bush League reporting.
Bushman.
Bushman.
Bushwhack.
Bushwhack.
Bushy.
Bushy.
A bushy tail.
Busily.
Students were busily writing notes.
Business.
Business.
Students on the course learn about all aspects of business.
Carl began in the music business by running a recording studio.
We do business with a number of Italian companies.
He has a wide range of business interests.
She now has her own $25 million home shopping business.
They don't know how to run a business.
The company began as a small family business.
We're now doing twice as much business as we did last year. Exports account for 72% of overall business.
Business is slow during the summer. Business is slow during the summer. Business is slow during the summer.
Perot was in Europe, drumming up business for his new investment company.
She's in New York this week on business.
Hi, Maggie. Is this phone call business or pleasure?
We discussed the idea over a business lunch.
Useful business contacts.
It was not her business, she decided, to ask where the money came from. It's none of your business how much I weigh. Who's that girl you were with? Mind your own business. Are you going out with Kate tonight? That's my business.
It is the business of government to listen to the various groups within society.
OK, let's get down to business.
Is there any other business? The chairman asked.
Leon regards keeping fit as a serious business.
Tanya found the whole business ridiculous.
The company has been in business for over 30 years.
I've just got to buy the paint and then we're in business.
Higher interest rates will drive small firms out of business.
The band are back in business after a long break.
I was driving along, minding my own business, when the police stopped my car.
The street was full of ordinary people going about their business.
Ruth made it her business to get to know the customers. Ruth made it her business to get to know the customers. The border is guarded by troops who mean business. The border is guarded by troops who mean business.
The sudden death of a loved one can often leave the bereaved with an agonizing sense of unfinished business. The sudden death of a loved one can often leave the bereaved with an agonizing sense of unfinished business.
We can't afford to employ someone who isn't good at the job. Business is business.
Despite last night's scare, it was business as usual in the White House today.
He was drunk and had no business driving.
I'm not in the business of selling my best players.
She handles the publicity and all that business.
Have you seen David's new car? It's the business. Come on then and do the business.
Business card.
Business card.
Business class.
Business class fare.
Business end.
Business end.
The business end of a gun.
Business hours.
Business hours.
Businesslike.
Businesslike.
A businesslike manner.
Businessman.
Businessman.
Business park.
Business park.
Business person.
Business person.
Business plan.
Business plan.
Business school.
Business school.
Business studies.
Business studies.
Business suit.
Business suit.
Businesswoman.
Businesswoman.
Bussing.
Busing.
Busk.
Busk.
Bus lane.
Bus lane.
Busload.
Busload.
Busman's holiday.
Busman's holiday.
Bus pass.
Bus pass.
Bus.
Bus.
Politicians bussing babies.
Buses.
Buses.
Bus shelter.
Bus shelter.
Bus station.
Bus station.
Bus stop.
Bus stop.
Bust.
Bust.
I bust my watch this morning. Tony busted the door down.
He was busted by US inspectors at the border. Davis got busted for drugs.
Federal agents busted several money exchange businesses. I bust a gut trying to finish that work on time. I bust a gut trying to finish that work on time.
The trip to Spain will probably bust our budget. Crime-busting laws.
Idaho or bust. They bust up after 6 years of marriage.
A couple of teachers stepped in to bust up the fight.
A bunch of bikers busted up the bar.
Elaine busted up laughing at the sight of him.
A bust of Beethoven.
A 36-inch bust. A drug bust.
The television's bust again.
Busted.
Busted.
A busted arm. You guys are so busted.
Buster.
Buster.
You're under arrest, Buster.
Bustier.
Bustier.
Bustle.
Bustle.
Madge bustled round the room, putting things away. Madge bustled round the room, putting things away.
A continual bustle of people coming and going. A continual bustle of people coming and going.
Bustling.
Bustling.
The flower market was bustling with shoppers.
Bust up.
Bust up.
The bust-up of their marriage.
Kathy and I had a real bust-up yesterday.
Busty.
Busty.
Busy.
Busy.
She's busy now. Can you phone later?
A busy mother of 4.
Mr. Haynes is busy with a customer at the moment.
Rachel's busy studying for her exams.
There were lots of activities to keep the kids busy.
December is the busiest time of year for shops.
A busy day. He took time out of his busy schedule to visit us. He took time out of his busy schedule to visit us.
We live on a very busy road.
I called Sonia, but her line was busy. Keep getting a busy signal.
He busied himself with answering letters.
Busybody.
Busybody.
Busy Lizzie.
Busy Lizzie.
Busy work.
Busy work.
But.
It's an old car, but it's very reliable.
They rushed to the hospital, but they were too late.
We've invited the boss, but she may decide not to come.
An expensive but extremely useful book.
Has he got any experience? No, but he's keen to learn.
I'd like to go, but I'm too busy.
They would have married sooner, but they had to wait for her divorce.
He lied to the court not just once, but on several occasions.
The purpose of the scheme is not to help the employers, but to provide work for young people.
What can we do but sit and wait?
I had no choice but to accept the challenge.
Not a day goes by, but I think of dear old Larry. But for these interruptions, the meeting would have finished earlier. The score could have been higher, but for some excellent goalkeeping by Simon. I might never have got to university but for you. All was silent, but for the sound of the wind in the trees.
John might be ready to help us, but then again he might not.
You feel really sorry for him, but then again, it's hard to like him.
Dinah missed the last rehearsal, but then she always was unreliable, wasn't she?
But that's marvellous news.
They won't even discuss the problem. But how stupid.
I could not but admire her.
It was a good idea, but it didn't work.
It'll be a great party. Everyone is coming.
They're rich, but I mean rich.
But now to the main question.
But tell me, are you really planning to retire?
Excuse me, but I'm afraid this is a no-smoking area.
I could come any day but Thursday.
There's no one here but me.
I could still see nothing but the spirals of desert dust.
He was unable to swallow anything but liquids.
Pauline and Derek live in the next house but one.
This is but one example of what can happen when things go badly wrong.
It's going to be difficult. Anyway, we can but try.
We have relationships of many different sorts, with our children, our parents, our boss and our friends, to name but a few.
I don't want to hear any buts, Joe snapped.
He is the best player. No ifs, ands or buts about that. He is the best player. No ifs, ands or buts about that.
Butane.
Butane.
Butch.
Butch.
Butcher.
Butcher.
That hairdresser really butchered my hair. Butchery.
Butchery.
The butchery of battle.
Butlins.
Butlins.
Butt.
Butt.
A baby's soft little butt.
Paul quickly became the butt of everyone's jokes. A rifle butt.
Kevin, get your butt over here. I worked my butt off in college.
A rainwater butt.
Stop butting in.
They don't want outsiders butting in on their decision-making. This has nothing to do with you, so just butt out.
Butte.
Butte.
Butter.
Butter.
Buttered toast.
Don't think you can butter me up that easily.
Butterbean.
Butterbean.
Buttercream.
Buttercream.
Buttercup.
Buttercup.
Butterfat.
Butterfat.
Butterfingers.
Butterfingers.
Butterfly.
Butterfly.
I always get butterflies before an exam.
Gwen's a real social butterfly.
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch.
Butterscotch pudding.
Butthole.
Butthole.
Buttock.
Buttock.
Button.
Button.
Small pearl buttons. A button was missing from his shirt. She undid the buttons of her blouse.
Press the pause button. Click on the icon with the right mouse button.
Presidential campaign buttons. She got to our house at 2 on the button.
She seemed to push all the right buttons.
He really knows how to push Dad's buttons. The instrument can gauge a distance with the push of a button.
Sam, make sure Nina buttons up her jacket.
Button down.
Button down.
He didn't fit in with the button-down culture of his new boss. He didn't fit in with the button-down culture of his new boss.
Buttoned up.
Buttoned up.
Buttonhole.
Buttonhole.
Buttress.
Buttress.
The evidence seemed to buttress their argument.
Butty.
Buddy.
Buxom.
Buxom.
Buy.
Buy.
Where did you buy that dress? Ricky showed her the painting he'd bought that morning. Let me buy you a drink.
The money will be used to buy equipment for the school.
It's cheaper to buy direct from the manufacturer.
Dan bought the car for $2,000.
It's much cheaper to buy in bulk.
$50 doesn't buy much these days. $15 should buy us a pizza and a drink. Can we talk about it later? He said, trying to buy a little more time.
Let's just say it was an accident. You'll never...
People say the judge had been bought by the mafia.
The town has been careful not to buy prosperity at the expense of its character.
Companies are buying in supplies of paper in case the price goes up.
I never bought into this idea that you have to be thin to be attractive.
Investors were invited to buy into state-owned enterprises. Investors were invited to buy into state-owned enterprises.
Much of the land was bought up by property developers.
The wine is a good buy at $6.50. It's worth shopping around for the best buy.